Hi, I'm Elise LaBord.
And I'm Robert LaBord.
Well, I think it's probably been over 30 years, I'm gonna say that, over 30.
Well, I would say that the most rewarding parts are helping people and seeing lives change for the better.
Because you're in it to help people.
We have 4 girls and 3 grandchildren. Well, having daughters it wasn't as challenging as a lot of people have proclaimed it to be. Some people said, since you're having girls, you're gonna have a lot of problems. But having girls was not as bad as people said it was. I find it very rewarding because, and I find that it wasn't as challenging as people said because I found it to be fairly easy. What do you say? Compared to what people said and some of the people that we've talked to.
What I say about it is, it wasn't hard. I think probably, I think you would say it was probably better for us to have all girls than boys because he always thought that I would baby the boys and try to protect them from getting hurt.
I knew that she would baby the boys, not thought. Wisdom. That's a better word.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I used to do the neighbors, little boys. I used to say, don't do that, don't do that. And they did it. They hurt themselves too. If I give parents any wisdom about raising their kids in this day and time, I think you have to give them a lot more attention than you think. I think you have to, in some way, look at them as if they are some of your members of your church, but not the same treatment, but you tend to give more attention sometimes to your members and you take more time with them sometimes because you think they need it. So I say give that to your children.
And I would say that in today's culture and the atmosphere that we live under right now, family is very important, and it's important for the male to be a part of the family and to be very instrumental in guiding and instructing and being there for the children. I find that in this culture, you definitely need God involved into raising children, and I would say that in any culture. And I think that's one of the reasons why our family was so successful, because God was instrumental in everything that we did to improve the family and to build the family. He was there at the beginning, so I think that's crucial because and as the male, I think listening to God and following God's instruction as to how to raise the children and being interactive with the children. Train them up in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart. I believe that's a very profound scripture that you can use, but training them up in the way that they should go comes from God, because we don't know the way that they should go. We have to listen to Him. It doesn't matter what they look like to us and which direction that we think they ought to go, but it's according to God's direction, because He is the one who gave them to us. And to add a little note, we're just stewards. They don't belong to us. We're just stewards in raising them. And it's an awesome responsibility and a blessing to be able to raise God's children for Him. Good question.
I say go in it for the long haul and realize they always say that marriage is 50-50, and realize that it's not that way all the time to have a good marriage. Sometimes you may give 80 and your husband's only giving 20. Sometimes your husband may be giving 80 and you only give 20. But if you're the one always giving the 20, then you're gonna have problems. So just realize it's give and take, and some days it's gonna be your day and some days his. But at the end of the day, you stick together because it's worth it in the end.
I would say that marriage is not what the world portrays it to be. Marriage is an institution that God gives us, and we become a part of that. And if we follow the scriptures, it will bring us into a healthy and rewarding marriage. Most people look at marriage as something that's going to satisfy all of their emotional needs. But in order for it to do that, you must be able to give into it. And marriage is something that you have to invest into it. We have to give ourselves completely and totally into it. You can't have a good marriage without having bumps and scrapes and problems, because you got two different mindsets, two different belief systems that come together. So you're going to have problems. You're going to have, when I say problems, I'm saying you're going to have difficulties and issues that will cause a disturbance. But you don't run from the disturbance, you embrace them. And this is something that really the Lord spoke to me a few months ago. Becoming one. The two shall become one, the scripture says. And when the two becomes one, you become a force that is greater than any other force on the face of this earth. Because God created Adam and Eve as one. And with that, all of creation see what God looks like. And in a marriage, that's what the world sees, is what God looks like. Because you have the husband, the wife, the children. And that's the Trinity. That's the Trinity of society that the world sees. And it's the image of God. And when we embrace that and understand that, all the difficulties is opportunities for us to grow. And I heard somebody say that marriage is an opportunity to grow. And I believe that's what you must understand in going into it. That the difficulties make you stronger. My objective, or what I'm looking toward in 2021, 22, is I want the latter years of my life to be something that's going to be very impactful to the world. I look at people like Abraham. Abraham really didn't begin a ministry for God until he was up in age. Same with Moses. Moses was 80 years old when he got started in ministry. It takes time to learn the dynamics of life. And I think this is what Paul was saying. You don't put a novice in the office of pastor or any of the fivefold ministry gifts because of the opportunity to fail. The longer we live and the longer we live for God, the greater we become as an instrument for God. And we use the wisdom that we've gained over the years to impact people's lives. And when people see us as mature people and they see what they want to be. So as we model in these last few years, we've been married for 48 years. So 48 years of marriage is something that people need to see. And not just being together, but marriage. When I say that, I'm saying that, a marriage is a beautiful thing because it's God created. And it speaks to the world as to what God looks like. So the latter years of my life, I want it to be something where people can really, really see the God in me. And to be able to speak into the lives of people that don't know God as well as the people that know God. All of our years are spent to learn more about God. So the latter years should be better than the former years because we've learned more. Whatever means of ministry God has provided for us, I think that's something that we can use to really help people. And my passion is to help people and to help people. I really, really see so much that needs to be helped when it comes to people. And I have a passion to help fulfill that need. And that, like you said, in books, ministry, social media, whatever means God provides, then that's what we intend to do. Yes, okay. That's what he mandated for us from the very beginning. More her than me.